I'm going to give you my method that is going to allow you to set yourself up when you're looking to get to 8 to 10% body fat. I'm going to show you exactly how I work out body fat percentages, where you then need to get to from a scale weight perspective, and just give you that insight really. As you can see from results we get, I have to do this on a very consistent basis. I'm constantly looking at human torsos and establishing body fat percentages. Obviously, they will send me their scale weight, and then from there, I'll be able to work out what scale weight are you going to end up at when you are 8 to 10% body fat. So then, we can map out, right, this is where you're going to finish on, and then this is how long it's going to take. This is why this data and information is important. So if you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome. My name is Tom Sergey. I run the Gorilla Platoon, where we get results like this, which is kind of nice. And today's topic was inspired from a viewer. Again, massively appreciate all the questions that get put into the page. If I don't ever respond to your question, it's probably because I don't know the answer, and I'm not a blagger. I will only answer what I know and understand and what I can speak about. If I generally don't know the answer, I'll probably just comment and say, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know everything. I know enough to get results like this because I've trialed and done it, but I am not the fucking walking pamphlet, not yet. But I endeavor to always continuously learn and get better so I can continuously help more and more people, of course. So thank you to this guy submitting the question. Hey mate, could you make a video on how to set your target weight when cutting? If you get around to it, I'm asking because I want to cut to 10% body fat, like, again, very common, and just don't trust the body fat metrics of my smart scale, so I'd rather have a concrete weight goal to shoot for. And I'd agree, any of those like scales, they're not going to give you the most accurate reading. You could go into a gym and maybe the trainer there could measure it with calipers, but then again, you're relying on him being an experienced guy with those calipers and him actually being accurate. Like, at the gym I used to work at in Dubai, we would take calipers consistently, and whoever came to me right at the beginning would not have got the same level of accuracy as someone who came to me right towards the end, because obviously I improved with the calipers, of course I did. So, and as well, potentially if you're too fat, like, calipers avoid, because you just can't put it right. If you're over, honestly, if you're over 25%, even like 23, it's really not worth doing the calipers because you just got that much adipose tissue. And to be honest, you don't need it. But what doesn't lie is fucking photos. Photos do not lie. You can see where you were at the start, and then you can see as you are improving. You cannot get around photos. So to that end, let's go into how I actually set people up. So they will send me their scale weight, in which I will put into the metrics here. Let's say, for argument's sake, you are 100 kilos. Then I will then assess your photo relative to this guide here. Now, as a caveat, I've had a lot of people ask me for this specific calorie calculator, and sometimes I've sent it out, sometimes I've been reluctant to do it. So what I'm thinking of doing is actually just making it a better document, because I've got 5, 10, 15, 20s here, but what I could actually do is, now I've got that much data with human torsos, I could actually set you up for like someone that's let's say 17%, someone that's like in the mid-20s, and people that are coming in between these graphs we've got here. So I'm thinking of making it better, more like even more data impactful, so it actually comes with even more value, and then actually just selling it at a low cost. So a little plug for that there. If it's something you think you would use, again, no pressure. Like, I'm not trying to hard sell you. I'm just thinking of this is something I'm thinking of doing because it's had a bit of interest. So if you think it'd be useful, message me on Instagram and I'll get it sent out to you. But I'm going to sexy it up so you've got more data to go off, so you're getting more for it. So, but anyway, back to the video. This is how I would then do it. So you take your photos, and we're comparing it between the two. Now, of course, it's not going to sit, as I said, bang on the 15 or bang on the 20. You're probably going to sit somewhere in between. And again, it's just an estimate at best. But unless we literally dissected you and put your fat cells on one side of the scale and your muscle on the other, we would never truly know your exact amount of body fat. It is always an estimate. But the photos do not lie. Take them in clear lighting. Very, very easy to see what your body fat percentage is sat at. And with this as a guide, it's worked very, very well for me. For me to be able to get the amount of results I have, this has been the catalyst behind it for the start. And the start really is everything. So from there, we've got your scale weight, and then we've got your body fat percentage, which, let's say you're 23% body fat. So that would mean you'd be, a little bit softer than this guy, but not quite as soft as this guy's coming in. A little bit tighter, a little bit cleaner than this guy's coming in here. So we've got your scale weight. we've got your body fat, we've got your lean mass, 77.4. That's you just absolutely skinned out lean. So then what you're going to want to do is determine your goal of where you want to get to. So with this, you're either going to want to get to 10% or 8%, depends on how like skinless you want to get. If you want to get to like, I'll just show you the difference between 8 and 10 as I blow up this screen here. So that's this here, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. When you want to get even more skinless, you're looking at probably like this guy. That's a bit blurry as you see it, but this guy, this guy for sure is probably like in and around the space of 8. So there is like a bit of a difference. Do you need to go to 8? Honestly, unless you're like just going on holiday and you want to look skinned out your mind, then go to 8. Otherwise, like the clean sweet spot is in and around the space of 10. If you push to 8, you may find you run really flat. In this is me. I'm about 8 in this photo because I've dieted to the leanest point I've ever had for a photo shoot. So I really pushed the needle to get fucking skinless, and it really did hurt. It was pretty miserable, but I'm glad I did it because then I can talk about it. So yeah, from here, let's say you're 77. Now all you're going to do, it's nice and simple. Just get out your calculator. Don't use your brain. Get out your calculator, and you're going to do the math on there. So let's say you want to get 10%, 77 plus 10%, you need to get from 100 to 80, call it 85 for easy numbers. So you need to lose 25 kilo. 100, sorry, no, you need to lose 15 kilo, my bad. This is why we use a calculator. So you need to lose 15 kilo. At a kilo drop per week, 15 weeks, no problem. And if you wanted to get to 8%, 77 plus 8%, it's about another 2 weeks worth of graft, so 17 weeks. So let's say you wanted to get to 85, for easy numbers, 15 weeks. You're then going to work out how much activity are you doing within a given day. For majority of you, you're going to sit in this bracket here, 155, the average amount. If you're desk bound as fuck, never go out for walking or anything, put yourself on a 135. Like a little bitch. But if you're really active, you're in construction, like my boys in the army, you can put this on a 175. But let's start, for argument's sake, 155. You're going to take your resting metabolic rate. And by the way, this formula is done from the Catch McCarday formula. I really like this one because it goes off body fat. Because ultimately that's what we're working in, right? So that's why I like this method. So RMR times by activity would give you a maintenance. So if you were this guy at 100 kg, 23% body fat, you'd have a solid maintenance of 3,151. That is a big boy fucking amount of calories. Now, what I would do for week 1, I never start so aggressive so soon because you don't want to play all your cards early. Ultimately, if you were eating around that amount of food and then we go into a deficit of about 550 down towards 600, watch how much progress you make within that week. I guarantee you still pull that out. Well, I can't guarantee it, but I can rest pretty solidly that I've seen enough times now, you will still drop a kilo even though we've not put you in a mad deficit. Because you want to look at it like this. You're going to set your target and it will drop and you will see progress off the back of it until you don't. Then you're going to make a change. Now, you could have set your target down here, but you'd have still made progress even with your food up here. You want to keep your food as high as you can for as long as you can, because dieting is not fun anyway. Being deprived of physical energy is hard enough as it is. Don't put yourself really low too soon, because your body will do what it does at the level above. It will just adapt to it, and then you'll have to make a change again. So you want to rinse out for as long as you possibly can at the set amount, and then make the change. And if you can, I always like to push the cardio because you want to be athletes, right? So you want to be fit as well. So you may as well keep food high and start doing formal cardio. Something that's non-impact, you can do it daily, heart rate 120 to 130 beats per minute. You could keep a conversation whilst you're doing that level of cardio. Do it on something like a cross trainer or an incline treadmill with the occasional impact sessions, which would be like a run outside. Do that on your rest day. and you're just going to allow something that you can do daily and then drive the negative energy balance that way. You're going to need to pull from food at some point, of course you are, but the goal was to keep food as high as we can for as long as we can. Now, what this will do, what I've done here, by the way, is you've got options to adjust how aggressive the deficit goes. For context, if you are like super fat and you're coming in like above 25 towards 30, that's when I go 0.7% of a drop. It's going to give you a good like 770 calorie drop, but still around 2,400 calories. It's still fairly high for someone that's that amount of body fat. Now, if you're like the average, you're going to come in at this, and this is bearing in mind you want to still pull off that kilo a week. Now, for a rare scenario, if you come in and you look like, let's go with this guy. So have a look at his physique here. This guy, also this guy, also this guy. Was there any more? Any more? No. So if you look like these guys are about 17% body fat. Not quite 20, not by a long shot. No visible abs in sight, but not far off either. You know, maybe like 16, 17% body fat. If you're coming in at that space, don't go aggressive at all. If anything, sit yourself just below maintenance, and you will still find you get a nice drop off with the scale. The leaner you are, the higher your food can be. The fatter you are, the less like you physically need, which kind of makes sense when I say it like that. And you're like, well, yeah, no shit, but like this has to be said. And then from there, it'll spit out your macros. Now, I set protein at 2.4 grams per kilogram of lean mass. That's why we need to know your lean mass, because body fat doesn't require protein, right? Now, you can work 1 gram per pound of body weight. As a rule of thumb, this will pretty much match that. Unless you're super fat, then you just don't need that much protein, right? Fats are set to 20% of this target. And again, that's good. It starts them high enough that you've got room to play with the fats. And when I'm pulling from food, this is where I'm taking from first. And then carbs will fill up the rest. So that's how I find out your body fat percentage, how I essentially work out what scale weight you need to be, why that's going to give us the time frame, and then what sort of a deficit you want to go in relative to that body fat percentage. So hopefully this was useful. The point of the matter is understanding what's your body fat and then what does that mean from a scale weight perspective. If you want this, you want to sexy it up, let me know on Instagram. But likewise, I'm not trying to hard sell my audience. I just keep sending me questions to answer is fucking good enough from you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.